Sorry, this video might be a little bumpy because I live in Oklahoma and we don't seem to have any money to fix our roads, right? I made a video about this the other day, and granted, my channel's small. I don't have a lot of viewers, but I made a video that was about stupid people and how stupid people can be. Now, first and foremost, I'll put a disclaimer out. I am stupid. I'm stupid. Can you believe that? Yeah? Well, I'm stupid. But the difference between me and a lot of people, not all people, but a lot of people, is that I understand that I'm stupid. I understand that there are times where I just might be wrong. And I'm a critical thinker, right? So I actually question a lot of times, if not all times, how I could be wrong versus constantly telling myself that I am right every time. If you ever notice anything about people who are right all the time, they tend to be in situations in their life where they're not happy. They're the victim. They're the victim of everyone else's actions. They take no accountability. I don't even know if they know how to spell or have ever said accountability. And I think if someone says, hey, you need to take accountability, they say, oh, quit coming at me, quit being mean. You're being mean to me. Like, dude, let me tell you, I'm going to start from the bottom and I'm going to work my way up. And this is just one of many, 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 many millions and billions of examples that are out there. And that will continue to be out there. And it'll never fucking change. But let me tell you something. So, yesterday I go to work on this lady's yard. And I have to get in her backyard. Well, I gotta follow her rules. In order to get in her backyard, I have to get a key that's in her mailbox to unlock a deadbolt to her fence. So she has a chain link fence. There's no wire, there's no like these sticking up on top of it. It's just, anyway, it's a chain, right? With a deadbolt lock on it. And you have to have a key, obviously, to open the deadbolt lock. So her request or rules, whatever you want to call it, are for me to get the key from the mailbox, unlock the lock, in order for me to get in the backyard. I'm about 6 foot, okay? Let me tell you something. If I was, 2 inches taller, I could literally just step over the gate. Literally. So, this person is locking a gate that someone a little higher, a little taller than myself could just step over. And I don't want to just step over it. I probably could. No need to really climb. But I want to follow her rules because she's paying me to do the job. So I'm going to do that. But I can't help in my mind but be like, why in the fuck do you have a deadbolt lock on a gate where anybody could get over, unless they're like wheelchair bound. Like it doesn't make any fucking logical sense. But okay, move on. I go to a local convenience store, and there's a lot of cashiers. I've been going there for years. There's a lot of cashiers that I really like. But it's the stupid ones that stand out like a fucking sore thumb. They stand out like a tree, lone tree in a valley. Like a mountain that rises 89 million feet above every other mountain next to it. They stick out like that. Right? So, sometimes I pay with cash. There's a guy that's been hired, and he's got to be at least 21 because he's selling alcohol. There's a guy that's been hired. He can't count. I give him cash. Dude can't count. He starts to fumble, and I always have trouble. And I'm not making fun of him per se. I'm saying this is a fucking problem, right? And I'm starting at the bottom, and I'm going to work my way up to the top. So bear with me. I was looking, my background for the most part is sales, right? I took an interview with a gentleman a few months ago, and man, the position, the pay, structure of the company, everything aligned with what I could do and how well I could do it, how much of an asset I could have been to their company. And everything sounded wonderful. And I do know, as much as I know, I don't know everything, but I do know what to look for, what to expect and what not to expect people to say when it comes to interviews and just standard communication for the most part. But this guy throughout the not so, he owned the company. He was a co-owner. So it wasn't this corporate entity where they had to read a script and you take an interview and all that. No, it was more personal, which I liked. But throughout it, he's reading off scriptures and how the company's based on faith, and he's just sprinkling it through our conversation. And I'm like, yeah, okay, that's great. That's awesome. He said, I think we have a couple people who haven't accepted Jesus Christ on our team, but that's okay. We'll still employ them. I think they're good people. And I agree. What I don't agree with is, why in the fuck are you telling me all this? What he was trying to do, which I didn't give in, he was trying to figure out whether or not I was on his far side of religion and faith. Dude, the reality is, I believe in God. I'm a believer in God. I pray to God. I try to do the right things by God. Do I mess up? Yeah, I mess up. I'm not perfect. If you're watching this video, newsflash, you're not either, right? But I gave a great interview, aside from just kind of sidestepping those questions and things like that. Because I wasn't going to lie to the guy and be like, yeah, dude, I go to church Wednesday, Sunday. I pray in the morning, afternoon, night. I live by the Bible, die by the Bible. Like, if I was to say that to that extent, that's not true. That's just not true. Right? I'm not going to sell my soul. Right? Oh, these fucking people. Another thing is, you ever have people, while I'm in traffic, you ever have people get on your ass when driving? Like say you're in on a 2-lane, 65 mile per hour road. They get on your fucking ass. They don't fucking move. You can see the fucking color of their fucking eyes through their windshield. And they're right there, dude. They're right there. I had this multiple times, but this example, I had this guy who had this huge dually truck. He and his wife and his kids were in the truck. I could see it all because he was right behind me. This guy's pulling a boat that I can see scaling over. The boat was bigger than the fucking truck, easily. This dude is, and I'm doing I always do over the speed limit, 2 to 3 miles an hour over, or the speed limit. I don't go too far, I don't go too fast, nothing like that. And dude, this guy is just right on my ass, and it's a 2-lane, and he won't pass me. So I put my blinker on, I slow down, and I pull over to the side, and I let him fucking pass me. And what do? Start flipping me off, yelling shit as they pass me. Why? You're pulling a fucking dually, you're pulling a boat behind a dually truck. And you are literally 3 feet from my bumper doing 65, 66 miles per hour, where the speed limit was 65. You know what happened? About 20 miles up, there's a stoplight. And guess what? Because of the rest of the traffic, he got slowed up. And when the stoplight came, I pulled up right next to the motherfucker. So in other words, he was on my ass like he was. And we ended up sitting at the same stoplight 20 miles later, after getting flipped off and yelled at with my daughter in the fucking back. So that's bottom, mid-level stupidness. But when we talk about what's going on with this Charlie Kirk investigation, the FBI, the question with the FBI, and really the big question, isn't, do you think we're stupid? That's not the question. Change the question to, how stupid do you think we are? We know you think we're stupid, obviously. And there's a lot of people who are just okay, you know what I mean? Yeah, that has to make sense. It's coming from the FBI, right? Tell me, have y'all seen the videos where this guy is getting off the roof? He's getting off the roof. Where's the gun? Where's the weapon? Okay? And then they find a weapon out in the woods, and it was wrapped in, according to them, I don't know what to believe anymore, but according to them, it was wrapped in a towel or a blanket. And they take a picture of it, and it's in a box, and it's fully put together. Even if the guy had taken the weapon apart, and when I mean apart, I mean in two, from one piece to two, one full piece to two piece. Even if the guy had done that, how was he gonna jump off a roof, run away, even if the weapon was in his pants, broken down into two? We are talking about a rifle here. And then go out in the woods, wrap it in a towel, for whatever reason, leave his handprints and shit on it, and they take a picture, they release a picture of the weapon, and it's put together. Why would he perform the action, break down the weapon, go to the woods, take the time to put the weapon back together, and then leave it? Now, I think, well, maybe the FBI put the weapon back together, but in all reality, from what I know, and I'm no expert, like, you don't tamper with evidence before you take digital pictures of it. You leave it as it is. So why would they put it back together? Right? And then they're like, oh, we caught him in record time, 33 hours. Yeah, you caught him because his dad called him in. And where was he? He was at his dad's house. And have any of y'all seen that, like, the pictures of the initial release of the pictures of this guy, he's walking upstairs. Okay, and he's got a backpack, and it looks full, right? Like full, like stuffed. Like it's well rounded. The pictures of the guy that they initially released, him, her, whatever you want to call it, the pictures of the guy, dude, they don't look like, it doesn't really look like the guy they caught. I mean, kind of does, but not really. So there's so many questions. Anyway, everyone have a good day. One love.